are we back? That was fun. I totally lost internet for a minute. Totally lost it. Just the whole thing went... Oh well. Sorry about that, gang. Where did I leave off, Kayatan? I don't know what happened. Must have been a blip in my network. It's not even temperature. It's like it just went down and went back. Well, thank you. I'm glad you guys are still here, and I appreciate that. I have no idea what happened there. I checked the cords and everything, but it went down and then it went back up. I was almost to the end. Okay, we'll just resume. Agents of Mott. Right, I was looking at this paragraph and thinking, and I said, good word choices about transcendental and almost omnipotent. First day with rented tongue, right? Yes, right. Though Mott is transcendental and almost omnipotent, there are still some limits to its capabilities. For example, the further something or someone is from a ley line or a secondary nexus of magic, the less influence Mott has on it or them. Agents act as amplifiers of Mott's power. However, as humans are sapient beings with free will, Mott can only give them directions where to go and what to do, not control them directly. I would like to know more about what is meant by this, right? In that, okay, so Mott uses the people who are aware of it to exercise its will, but to do what, right? Like, Mott is truth, order, balance, harmony, morality, and justice. So what form does justice take, right? In some cultures, order and harmony means respecting your place in the hierarchy and doing what you are told by the people who are above you, right? Because there is a caste system. Is that something that would be an ideal as part of, like, your, Mott's idea of how that works? There was actually a hierarchy that was supposed to be divinely ordained in Egyptian belief, right? So that, might be a thing. Is that a thing, right? Does Mott dislike people who are trying to disturb the status quo, right? Even if the status quo is unjust, It's something that, yeah. I'd like to know a little bit more about that. That's all. Right? How does it do that? Okay. Hello, Bob. I've decided that I'm only going to do minimal formatting, prettifying on all the prompts. The ones I'm really happy with will get extra treatment. Yeah, if I can think of something off the top of my head, I'll throw it on. Otherwise, I won't. Other people are just planning on doing basic editing. Do I think a playwright named Willem Rattlemace is too cliche? A bit, but it's fun. Alright, good article there, Kayatan. I like it. I'm sorry that my internet decided to just puke in the middle of reading your article. I'll post your link once more in the chat so that people can check it out. And good to see you, Bob. I'm in the process of his Gilderoy Lockhart at heart. Yeah, do it is right. Do it is right. I agree with Roy Girl completely. And by the way, hello if I haven't said hello yet. Yeah, I thought, well, the internet was getting back up. I forgot to put on the royal regalia of House Lappin today, so I decided to do that. And I bet nobody even noticed that I didn't have my bunny ears on before the internet went down, did you? No, you did not. So, alright. We're going to queue up Bob's article if you are here, but I am going to do a sprint first, at least one. Because like I said, I am behind. We are going to finally clear Kajutans. Thank you very much for your patience in waiting for me to get to it. Alright, I'm going to put up Bob's. Finally, I'm getting there, eh, Bob? I bet you've been like, get on with it for some time, so. Yes. Okay. Your Eastern Kingdoms. Awesome. I can't wait to read about this. This is good. And as always, your map is very cool. Alright, so what are you guys working on today for your various thingies? I am one prompt in. I did a medical condition, which is feared by some. That is all I've done so far. I've started working on a building associated with healing the sick, which is kind of an unusual thing in my world, but it's important, so I thought it might be fun to talk about. Esong says, anyone know where I can get copyright-free images of beetle larvae? Alright, no worries about lurking there, Kalyatan, and enjoy your dinner, and maybe we'll see you in a bit. Beetle larvae. Not off the top of my head. I'm sure you've tried all the usual sources, right? You've tried, yeah, you've tried all the usual sources. You've tried Pexels, you've tried Unsplash, you've tried public domain pictures. Have you tried that one? Sometimes that can be good. Okay, so the usual sources are Pexels. If you will actually type in the goddamn chat window. My goodness. Okay, Pexels. Unsplash. Public domain pictures. I know this is one I'm forgetting. Anybody else got a few? Artbreeder has some interesting insects, but you can't be assured that they have any basis in reality because people have messed with them. I did, however, use them for an idea for a bug that I'm making up called the jewel bugs. I'm hoping that some prompt will come up that'll let me do it, right? That'll inspire that. James says, question, do you plan to do a Turning of Tales feast stream? Probably I will. Probably it will be after the Kickstarter's done. Right, just so that I don't end up getting, like, majorly distracted. Author Goddess wanted to know if I was working on the cathedral on the asteroid. The answer is yes. That is what I'm working on. You bet. Yes. Which you may have recognized by the temple brothel of the Rose and Heart. So, Natalia's working on manuscript because prompts are done. Good for you. Bob says he gets stories of lizard folk heroes and pawns them off as original plays about human heroes. Grrr, cultural appropriation bullshit. The people love them, so I've got lizard folk literature exports being clamored for unknowingly. Clever. James says treatment prompt and landmark wrapped in superstition prompt are the ones I want to do tomorrow. Pixabay, that's the one I was forgetting. Free range stock, that's one I didn't know about, so awesome. And hello, Tal, good to see you. Back to lurk because I need to help a fellow Lappin member. You bet there, James. Yeah, still on prompt 2, says Extreme Sigh. I'm on prompt 2 as well. So we're together. We're in the same boat. Let's get some stuff done. Oh, and you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to delete the article that I created that I didn't need because it had already been created. I didn't realize that the hubby had made it and given her a different last name, and that's fine. So we don't need that article. That can go away. We do need this one, however, and we're going to edit it. The Temple Brothel of the Rose and Heart. And what I need to do is open my Word document. I know, a Word document, it's amazing. For the little bit of stuff I've done for Novel 4, Sable's Privateers. because the temple becomes important again in my book. I liken back to things. That is the sprint for those of you who are sprinting. Do I not have Dropbox added to this computer? My goodness. Okay. What is that nonsense? I'm still finding things that haven't been fully installed since the reinstall. Okay, Sable's Privateers. Those are from a long time ago. Haven't I done any edits since then? Did I put it in edits? Maybe I did. Okay, I've got a 4th edit from 2020. That's got to be the most recent one. Oh my goodness. You know you're in trouble when you start putting the names of your edits in years, right? That's like trouble, isn't it? Tal says, I like the idea of a temple brothel. I did a brothel mixed with a women's healthcare center. Awesome. Exactly. Right? This one is more like the whole idea of the sacred prostitutes, right? Who are providing comfort and healing the mind as well as the body. And, I mean, like, if you've ever done women's mysteries stuff, you probably have heard of the concept. But it's not just women. There are men who are clergy at this temple too. So it's kind of fun. You didn't meet any of them in book 1, but you will meet them in book 4. Now I'm thinking of odd combos, says Atanchi. Hello. Daycare, orphanage, food bank, DMV. Nice. Or welfare office. Alright, have a good nap, Rowan. See you later. Have a good night, Satrium. Natalia Squirrel trying to find the name of Japanese filled pancakes. Sure, Coffee or Amanda Panda Sensei would be able to tell you. Yeah, I think the yum. Yeah, sounds great to me too. I can see a daycare office mixed with a welfare office. You're usually stuck in welfare all day, so childcare would make that easier. Oh, there's somebody who understands the system. I've been there. There are lots of mods in here. I didn't realize there was so many. Clearly, I've been out more than I thought I had, says Song. I haven't removed the planning committee of Conduit from my mod list yet. Cool, thanks, Tal. Thanks for being interested. Bob says, when you get to my article, my main focus is on whether it generated interest in learning more. Okay. Where do I have too much? What's missing? Gotcha. Many potential jailers. Nice. Hello, Kraut Potato. It says you're a first-time chat viewer, but I remember your name. It's been a long time. How are you? I think you dropped by last year. Good to see you. We are working on summer camp prompts, and I am working on the prompt for a house of healing. So, and why I wanted the second page open is I wanted detail about the characters. Alright, that is the get back to work growl for those of you who are sprinting, and I'm going to be sprinting this time. Ah, could be, I don't know, says Kraut Potato. Cool, well, welcome back. Chell says, I finished my prompts the other day, but I might work on them tonight, see if I can't fill them out a bit more, make them a little more streamlined. That makes sense. Masadi says, I can't get out of the adding photos rabbit hole when I really just need to write my dumb story. Write the story. The photos can come later. It's okay. Link back to a few articles, write-ups and stubs, says Tal. Why the hell is mail so expensive from the United States to Canada? Why the hell is... yeah. I don't know. I think the answer is because the person that was recently put in charge of the United States Postal Service wants the Postal Service to do things like the delivery services, only not as well, so that you will spend the ridiculous amount of money that delivery services charge for shit. And, yeah, you know. So that way you'll use them, but it'll still be more expensive for delivery services, because delivery services, when, you know, like, you know, Purelator and shit like that, they'll charge you brokerage fees to cross the border as well. Yeah. Is it so we don't get prescriptions shipped from Canada? Probably. Incidentally, I ordered Natalia's book. It cost me more for the shipping than the book. I just want you to know that. Because shipping is ridiculous. And that's why all my shipping costs went up on my Kickstarter, gang. I'm sorry. They sound ridiculous to me, but I looked. And hello, Bitserk. International shipping from Canada is terrible if you're in the United States. If you're in England, it's not so bad. Alright, I'm sprinting, gang, and I won't be looking at the chat. I don't have my phone today. It's being used for an alarm, which probably is for the best if I want to get anything done. I hope you're well, Latanchi. I haven't said hi properly yet, but I hope you're doing good. Obtaining a variety of exotic plants and almost 50 different species of roses from many worlds is a favorite of visitors. However, you must be staying at the temple to explore Courtyard. So, visitors are strictly vetted by the security staff or temple dogs. But sometimes I need a picture, so I'm gonna look for one. I was gonna go to sleep last night, and just as I was heading to bed, Dimitri and Janet came on with, like, sprints on the World Anvil channel, and I'm like, I'll check this out for a bit, maybe get a little done while I'm winding down before bed. And, yeah, so I was up late, reporting in Pride Stream while I was, like, oh, that gets me Turkish Delight. I want Turkish art. Turkish architecture, damn it. Arabic architecture? Let's try. Alright, let's try Turkish architecture. I doubt. If I could spell today. No, I don't know how to spell today. I'm not doing well. So tired. It's my own fault too. I made poor choices last night. Oh, that's nice. A little fancier though, because that's the Taj Mahal. So we weren't quite thinking that fancy. That's also like too big and too fancy. Yeah, I mean, not that fancy. It's a little bit more humble than that. Not quite what I want. That's kind of nice, but no. That's more like the image I have in my head. All right. Let's try that. No. I thought, you know, some rude Westerner would... There we go. Now we're talking. Oh, but you're all stock photos. But why? Boo. Boo-ness. This picture right here is perfect. That would be like the Courtyard garden kind of thing that I'm envisioning, but damn it. People making fun of my staying up last night, I see. Yes. Sorry, but what, Natalia? I'm sorry. I don't understand what the story was for. Bitzer says just got up and did the morning nonsense. If I want a regular time of stream, I better get up a half hour earlier. Yeah. Yeah, then I said, I'm going to bed, I won't see the end of the raffle. And then I came to congratulate the raffle winner. Yeah, it's because I went and brushed my teeth and did all that stuff and came back and I saw they were getting ready to draw the raffle. Because everyone was like, the community's so awesome, and I wanted to get in on that. Crop Potato says, literally took Constantinople and put it in the tropical jungle. I have that mosque in my setting as well. That's cool. Are public domain pictures free? Yes, generally. Yeah, he was focusing on the 300 words, not making it pretty, and that was very helpful to me. Well, boo. This is not. Okay. How about Courtyard? Let's try that. Now we might be talking. I don't think so, but I want a closer look at this. Well, it's pretty. That's a bit too big, but maybe I'll keep it up. Oh, is that the interior of the Winter Palace? Okay. Wow. Yeah, I guess that's actual gold gilding there. I have to cut the guy out, but okay, that might work. It's a bit bigger and a bit fancier, I think, than I thought, but it will do. This is much bigger and fancier, but the architecture's not. I mean, look at that. And I bet you all of that is gilded, like actual gold. All of that filigree. Very nice. If it didn't have these fancy dancy newfangled things in front of it, that'd work pretty well, but for me, sometimes I have to get a look at a couple of pictures to get an image in my head. No. It's very nice, though. This is probably way too big, but we're gonna have a look at it anyway. Yeah. Oh, now we're talking. Oh, okay, okay. You know, you gotta love the construction with the spectacular lighting effects. I mean, that literally looks like a gate into heaven, and I am certain there is nothing photoshopped about this at all. Beautiful construction. that's the sprint. Oh, sorry for the price of shipping. Nah, pfft, not your fault, Natalia. It's ridiculous. It's you know, it has nothing to do with you. I know that. It's just not fair, right? That kind of price of shipping is making it very difficult for publishers to stay in business, right? It is basically killing the Canadian publishing industry entirely, right? Has nothing to do with you. I wasn't blaming you at all. I'm sorry if it sounded that way. Emily wrote a 3K article on Friday. Could have made the 10 prompts easily, 2 in one day instead. Yeah. James says, to be fair, Sable, if I look at the clock and see it's 10 a.m. my time and you're in someone's chat, I go, it's nice to see you, Sable, or typical Sable. I don't take the mick out of you. You're far too awesome for that. You know what? People tease me because they know that I don't sleep enough and I need to go to bed. And it's okay. Right? But that was my fault. I made poor choices last night and now I'm paying for it today. On the other hand, I have to kind of readjust my schedule. I really kind of have to go to bed at sometime around midnight tonight because if I don't, then I won't be able to get up and pick up my roommate from work, which I have to do because the work schedule has changed. So otherwise, I end up waking up halfway through my sleep cycle and then staggering back to bed and driving tired. This isn't good for anybody. Eli says, apparently I am wrong about honeybees being vital to human survival. Many plants don't require it, and many of those that do require pollination are better pollinated by wild bees or by hoverflies and other pollinators. I'm wondering if I now need to write this article. Or I'm not now wondering if I need to write this article. Why do you ask? Well, I mean, yeah, wild honeybees or honeybees per se probably aren't vital, but wild bees are, and they're also dying all over the place of colony collapse disorder, which, by the way, is caused by nicotinoid insecticides. They have now found out it is a cumulative poison that develops in a bee colony over time as they pollinate a variety of fields. It's not. The reason why it wasn't detected at first as being a danger to them is because it doesn't, like in the doses that it's typically sprayed on crops, it doesn't actually hurt them. It hurts them when they keep bringing that stuff back to the hive and eventually builds up. Right, so that is what the problem is, but of course no laws have been changed to deal with it. Nicotinoid pesticides are considered safer to human health than a lot of other pesticides out there and a lot of other things, just not bees. Kellytan says, I've decided what I will do for a myth about prophecy. I will link it to the Queen of the Earth and make it about a day when nature will take the world back and technology will be destroyed. I can assume the prompt can be about something that didn't happen yet. Yeah, absolutely. Doesn't just because something's a prophecy doesn't mean it like came true, right? So, and as a matter of fact, I would think that a prophecy would generally not have come true yet. So, and Tal's agreeing with me. You got to find the right picture to get the right image in your head. Eli says, maybe they're used exclusively for the honey rather than as pollinators. That makes sense. Good idea. Bitterk says, try living in Australia. You pay 4 times the price of a thing to get it. Yeah, I bet. I bet that's true. I bet that's true. Okay, after this sprint, we're going to do Bob's Showcase, or when this break comes up, and then I'm going to take my first break. Mine is a mix between curse and prophecy. I decided people would have a debate about which one it is. Fun. That way I don't have to solve the problem myself. Good idea. Alright. Let's look at the Eastern Kingdoms. Are you still here, Bob? Just double checking. Okay, here we go. I'm going to put your link in the chat. Remember that Bob is looking for, does it make you want to read more? Is there too much in some places? Is there not enough in others? It's his introduction to the Eastern Kingdoms. So, the Eastern Kingdoms, a primer. Saint Aslan taught us to cooperate, to work together to ensure that humankind takes its rightful place among all the folk of Courtyard. It's a shame those rebellious miscreants in the west and those so-called enlightened fools to the south don't remember this. That is well done! What a good quote! First servant of the true church of the Humanar in discussion with the High Sovereign of the First Kingdom. That is awesome. The absolute hypocrisy and the total cognitive dissonance, being unaware of it. That is amazing. Okay. Plots and subterfuge, spying and assassination. You've got the First Kingdom of Humankind, and it's because the is included in your article link. So you'll either want to delete the first the, or, you know, change what's in the square brackets. Was once the dominant power of the region, but the Great Strife, the God War of 2,000 years ago, saw its lands, power, and influence vastly reduced. What was once one mighty kingdom that stretched from the Great Basin in the west to Icefell Bay and beyond in the east is now vastly reduced in size. Smaller kingdoms have established themselves along the inner sea during the times of strife. The cities that rebuilt along Icefell Bay have declared their independence, and a hostile breakaway kingdom to the west threatens the kingdom's borders. The leaders of the First Kingdom long to see their land restored to its former glory, and some will do anything to see this happen. But they must also watch their backs, because forces within the kingdom also desire more power and will stop at nothing to get it. This is the world of the Eastern Kingdoms of Courtyard. Okay, so I would make one change in this opening paragraph, since you're looking for isn't interesting. I would replace either subterfuge or spying with intrigue, and I would probably do it with spying. And the reason why is because the word intrigue is intriguing. You're like, ooh, intrigue. You know, plots within plots, right? And people who are into that kind of stuff will be like, tell me more, right? But otherwise, that's a great introduction. The Grand Duchy of Elvenpass. Neat. The Grand Duchy of Eastgard. The elves are on the other side of this, I assume, and that's why. Kingdom of Felicia. Well, I'm sure we'll explain. Awesome. You've got all the relevant links here, which is handy. The lands. The region contains the 4 kingdoms that border the inner sea, as well as the land of Lanloken in the northwest. The region is bordered on the north by the Worldtop Sea and the desolate lands called the Northern Wastes. To the east, the Iron Mountains and the Elven Ring provide natural borders. Is that a ring of mountains, the Elven Ring? That's a cool name. And to the west lies the mountain range called the Eastern Basin Wall and the vast North Grove Forest. And then your map. Beautiful map. Instantly interesting. I also like how you're going with your, you've got your same kind of, you know, slightly misted Hero Forge backgrounds and settings, which are really cool. Your images of the different races along the side and whatnot. But these guys look a little different than your other pages, and that's, you know, it provides a branded look, but it also makes me want to know more about the area, because I recognize these guys from your costume article, for example. The kingdoms. 5 independent realms make up the region known as the Eastern Kingdoms. The First Kingdom of Humankind, usually referred to as just the First Kingdom, is a realm that grew up around the place where the first humans and halflings were awakened on Courtyard 16,800 years ago. Do they know that for a fact? Or is that the date that they kind of think it is? Because that's pretty precise. I would be inclined to say about 17,000 years ago, but I mean, maybe they do have a consistent history that long. The first permanent human settlement, established by a leader now revered by many as Saint Anselm, eventually grew into the sprawling city known as Elderkeep. For many years, the First Kingdom, your I is capitalized accidentally in First Kingdom. That's fast typing typo. The First Kingdom was the only kingdom of humankind, but as time passed, humans who had moved beyond its borders, either because they were dissatisfied or ambitious, began to form rival kingdoms. Okay, two things. One is, this is a big block of text, I'd split it, probably at for many years, and then how many years are we talking about? Decades? Millennia? Right? We're talking about a history that runs roughly 17,000 years in the past. How many years is many years out of that? Yes, it's known? Okay. Right? Good question. Cayetan asks why humankind instead of humanity. And that's interesting. By humankind, do you mean other species that are sort of like humans too? It's a question that's, you know, because I see an elf in here. I doubt it, but I remember you talking about this, and I believe these guys are sort of humano-supremacists, right? So, yeah. So, and clarify, you know, for decades, for millennia, for centuries, right? The First Kingdom was the only kingdom of humankind, and I would make that the beginning of the second paragraph. But as time passed, humans who had moved beyond its borders, either because they were dissatisfied or ambitious, began to form rival kingdoms. In many cases, human fought against human in wars to determine borders. Kingdoms rose and fell in power. When the great strife struck, the region experienced great turmoil as some kingdoms aligned with the gods on each side of the conflict. That should be another paragraph too, starting here. When the great strife struck, the region experienced great turmoil, because now you're talking about another idea, right? As some kingdoms aligned with the gods on each side of the conflict. By the end of the God War, all of the kingdoms had been greatly diminished, but none more so than the First Kingdom. So they sound a bit like Gondor, you know, and in their history, and that's cool. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, okay, the fallen empire, right? So you'll find all kinds of, humans and halflings. But even halflings are treated like little cousins. Gotcha. Okay, that's actually very cool, and I like that. That makes sense. The Grand Duchy of Elven Pass lies, you have like 3 S's in that word, lies south of the First Kingdom between the Elven Ring Mountains and it is a mountain ring, cool, and the eastern shore of the Inner Sea. This land was once part of the First Kingdom, but when the God Wars cut the region off from the kingdom's capital, its residents set up their own government. Distant relatives of the First Kingdom's royalty, the duchy maintains good relations with the kingdom that spawned it, but it is sometimes a safe haven for those who plot against the rulers of the kingdom. Ooh. So, good relations but suspicious. That's interesting. I tell you, one of these days, those zealots in the First Kingdom are going to start another God War. How they can hold the beliefs they do after what happened to the world 2,000 years ago is beyond me. They're dangerous. Overheard from 2 bishops of the Reformed Church of the Humanar discussing religion and politics in the Grand Duchy of Elven Pass. Neat. Yes, okay, so we have religious conflict. Okay, I'm intrigued. The Grand Duchy of Eastgard lies even further south. It, too, declared itself independent when cut off from the kingdom by the war. While trade relations with the kingdom and the Grand Duchy to the north are amicable, there are religious differences that flare up from time to time. Brief sentence about what those are, right? Because, you know, and I think I know it's probably, they don't believe humanity is like the top church. Yeah, no, Reformed Church versus True Church. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, okay. On the western side of the Inner Sea lies the Kingdom of Felicia, the land of the Catfolk. The city of Barons Point, near its border with the First Kingdom, is known as the most cosmopolitan city on all of Courtyard. Okay. This city marks the end of the trade route used by Chitiki gem traders to bring their goods to market. It acts as the main port for the Akwani city of Tuluwana-Rook as well. It also boasts one of the two great arcane academies of the world, the other being in the free city of Endmere in the northern frontierlands. Cool. I want to go to Felicia, and I especially would like to go to Barron's Point. I think, that sounds like Constantinople of your world, and I'm there. I don't agree, Cayetan. Christian Protestants do indeed have reformed in their churches sometimes. The New Reformed Apostolic Church is something that I can think of off the top of my head that is a Protestant church that exists here in my town. So it depends. Maybe they don't tend to use it in Europe, I don't know, but they sure do here in North America. That could be a culture thing, that's interesting. Okay, second in area only to the First Kingdom, Lanloken is a sparsely populated nation. Once considered the western frontier of the First Kingdom, its people are fiercely independent and resentful of the fact that they were left to their own devices during the Great Strife. Fair enough. They, like the residents of the free cities of the border Icefell Bay, declared that they would no longer bend the knee to a throne too far away to protect them. Makes sense. There are many border disputes, and many factions on both sides of the border feel that the government on the other side is illegitimate. Right. You got... Okay, fair enough. That's cool. Okay. Who do those rock-dwelling bearded heathens think they are? Doubling the gate tolls for our metal traders in Iron Gate? If they're not careful, they'll be taught a lesson soon enough. First Kingdom Guildmasters discussing rising costs of raw materials in the First Kingdom. At the borders of the First Kingdom, I like your quotes, by the way. I like your quotes very much. It gives me a real sense of the politics that are going on, and that's excellent because if you're going to have political intrigue, we need to know what the politics are that we're going to get involved in. And fantasy settings too often go, yeah, this is where all the money and power is, but they're the bad guys, and this is where none of the money and power is, and they're the good guys. And that's way too simplistic, and I don't know. Right? So I like what you're doing here, Bob. Okay, at the borders of the First Kingdom, the dwarven citadel called the Crystal Delve can be found. This independent stronghold, and that of the Iron Hills Delve farther east, are important trading partners with the humans of the kingdoms. The dwarven city of Iron Gate marks the eastern, you need an N there, you got a typo, most border of the First Kingdom, south of the Iron Mountains, and stands along the trade route to the Iron Hills Delve. The Akwani, who do not establish kingdoms anywhere, have two established cities within the region, both in border areas. They are both autonomous, unclaimed by any of the surrounding kingdoms. They are the Tuluwane-Rook, the city of all peoples, not far from Barron's Point, and the Wawari-Rook, the city of winds that controls the pass between Felicia and Tirnabe to the west. Okay. My only other critique about this section, which is interesting and does kind of give me an excellent grounding of each of the different areas and their, the nations and their confusions and their problems, right? The things that are bothering them, right? Is I'm sure you intend to later, but I might come up with a device of some kind or a shield symbol, right, to represent each of them, to put probably in line here on the right-hand side so that you can still have all your nice titles all lined up properly and stuff, but then you'll have this won't be as big of a block of text for one thing, so, and if you have a flag or, heraldry device or something, it will give us something to focus on that represents that kingdom, right? The other thing you might consider doing if you didn't want to do that is take your map here, right, and kind of, cut out the shape of their, nation in it, and then put that on this here. But with all the green and blue coloration you've got going on here, I would do devices. Redeem hydrate, thank you. Alright, the sprint timer is about to end, so I'll catch up a bit on the chat. There's a political border overlay on the map. That's cool. You know, and that's the sprint. I should probably mention, guys, there's generally a etiquette guide on Twitch that tells you that people generally don't like it when you come into their streams and tell their audience about a stream you're doing or about to do, so we should come over and join you. Right? It's considered kind of scooping their audience. Now, I don't really mind if you're within the community. I'm kind of cool with that, especially if you're new. I want to encourage you to grow your audience, and I want the community to support each other. But be careful where you do that, because you're going to get in shit, right? And you might get Twitch on your butt, right? Because it's officially in the Twitch rules of etiquette. That's just my warning. It happens a lot here. That's why I figured I better mention it before some well-meaning person gets themselves in shit. Alright. Political overlay on the map. Baron's Point is going to be a lot of fun to build out. That's cool. Cayutan says, okay, I only knew of the Calvins. Yep. And it probably depends on cultural attitude towards the Reformation itself, says Author Goddess, which is where it is. Hello, Daz. Good to see you. Okay, so showcases. I have a backlog. I am getting enough showcases that I cannot actually get any writing done myself. I need to catch up the backlog. When I have caught up the backlog, I will open up the showcases again. They will be limited to 2 per stream for the duration of July. So that is why they're not showing. I have shut them down until I am caught up on the backlog. Sorry guys, you're just going to have to wait. And edits will not be available at all during July. I just don't have the time. I'm sorry, I love you, but you're going to have to wait till August. Click the layers on the map. Okay. Yeah, but I'm not talking about, like... Alright, I will click the layers on the map. Yeah. So what I would do is cut... What is this? This beautiful... And by the way, that's well done. Really nice layers. This would be... Okay, but what I was thinking of is I would cut this shape out of the map, right? With no other surrounding background, just the shape, right? And I would put it in line, right? Obviously that's not where it goes, but I would put it in line where it goes. I think that's probably your east guard, right? So I would put it probably there, right? On the right hand side of this paragraph about the East Guard Duchy, and just the shape of the country. Or I would put a device there just to break up this text and, give us symbols of those things. So, yeah. I need to go coffinate myself too, actually. Hello, March of the Grey Eyes. I haven't seen you in a while. How are you? Welcome back. Esong says, for those interested, I will try to make my streams focused on community showcases, just an FYI. That's cool. Yep. That's awesome. I gotta get some writing done too. So. I appreciate it that other people are going to try to help me catch up the gap. Alright. Yeah, I'm just saying you need stuff to break up the text with pictures, because people like art. And so I would use symbols of each of the nations and put them in line in the paragraph, right? You saw Grey Eyes this morning, that's cool. The cutouts will be done for the individual kingdom maps, but the big map needs shields. Yeah, shields. I would put shields beside the paragraphs, right? Right, that's the get back to work growl. For those of you who are sprinting. And you know what? Yeah. Okay, we're gonna finish this quickly because I need a break. I need to bio, but I don't want to, you know, put a big break in the middle of things. So, the people, like everywhere else on Courtyard, there are representatives of all the folk, all 12 major ancestries living in the Eastern Kingdoms. But demographics are different in each of the lands, and tolerance for foreign cultures and faiths vary widely. In the First Kingdom, humans, and to a lesser extent halflings, vastly outnumber those of other ancestries, and are the only folk eligible for citizenship. Besides the few dwarves and gnomes that can be found in First Kingdom cities, the Crystal Delve is where most of these folk can be found. Can be found. Find a different way to say can be found in one of those places. The sentence doesn't quite make sense, so mostly those willing to prefer second-class citizenship above ground to life in the Crystal Delve, which lies at the eastern edge of the kingdom. I understand what you mean, but I would say, I mean, I doubt they prefer it, right? Besides a few dwarves and gnomes that can be found in First Kingdom cities, the Crystal Delve is where most of these folk dwell. Yeah, actually, I don't really know precisely what you were saying with that sentence. I don't know whether you meant, like, the second-class citizens are in the cities, which is what I would think, right? I would say probably willing to tolerate rather than willing to prefer, right? But, yeah, I'm not sure, right? So, Daz says, thanks to my dog, I actually caught the early morning World Anvil stream this morning. Nice. Hello, Right Idea. Good to see you. Author Goddess works on Kickstarter instead of the novel for Kickstarter. That's hilarious. But you'll get it done quickly once you've decided to do it. The Right Idea says I put up 2 desks today, so now I can set my computer up tomorrow. Nice. I feel like a proper writer. I'm going to get some of my work typed up so I can get a showcase on here. Would love some feedback on my first draft. Do keep in mind, I did just say that for the month of July, first of all, I have a backlog of showcases that I have to catch up with before I will be opening them up again. Secondly, I will limit them to 2 per stream because I got to get some stuff done too. And third, I will not be doing the full hour edit at all during July. They'll be resumed in August. All right. Okay, so, yeah, Wandering Elves have made their home, and, oh, it's not finished. Oh, I see. You ended up dragging the first part of the sentence after the second part of the sentence. Probably, and I've done that in edits, okay. So the sentence is supposed to read here at the end of this paragraph, Wandering Elves have made their home, and mostly those willing to probably tolerate is what you meant. Second-class citizenship above ground to life in the Crystal Delve, which lies at the eastern edge of the kingdom. Elven Pass and Eastgard are far more tolerant of the children of gods other than the human are. Any of the folk can become citizens if they wish. Elves, dwarves, humans, and goblins are far more common, though are still outnumbered by the humans and halflings, which makes sense. This tolerance extends to religion as well. Open worship of any god is permitted in the Grand Duchies. Ah, this is the religious difference. Okay. Even the Humanar Church became far more relaxed in the centuries of the Great Strife and beyond, when the duchies were isolated from the kingdom. A fact that the leadership of the true church in the First Kingdom is not happy with. First time in Barron's Point, eh? I'll tell you. It's nothing like Elderkeep. There are times you'll have to look for a while before you see a human face staring back at you. If that sets you on edge, be prepared. But the folk are decent, and the markets have everything. You've heard that you can buy anything in Enmere given the money and time? Well, I'll tell you that half of the shady stuff you find in Enmere came from here. Ship captain educating adventurers as they disembark in Barron's Point. Felicia, on the other hand, is predominantly Felician and Chitiki in makeup. It is the only kingdom in the region where humans and halflings are a minority. Most of those humans and halflings, you've got two I's here, you'll need to correct that typo for an L, live in the few cities and towns that dot the land. A notable exception is the city of Barron's Point at the northern border. This city's population is almost uniformly divided among all the folk, with the possible exceptions being kobold and orc. But even these are represented. Lanloken is the most uniformly distributed population of the kingdoms, though that population is small. A notable number of orcs originally came from the Great Basin region. Can also be found not only in the wilderness lands, but in the cities as well. Cool. Alright. Religions. Religious practice has a marked effect on the cultures of the human kingdoms. On Carterian, religion is not so much a thing of faith. There are very, very few folk who do not believe the gods are real and can have a significant effect on their lives. The God War 2,200 years ago proved that, and the scars of that war are still visible. Okay, I'm going to say right off the bat here, okay, because you're asking for a primer, right? We've already heard a lot about religion in the course of the description, and now we're going to get into the specifics of the religions. That's cool, but my suggestion is save it for an extra article, right? Use it as, I don't know, maybe as a tradition and call it, you know, the religions of the Eastern Kingdoms and flesh it out a bit there. We get the idea that there's a humanocentric, you know, humanar-centric church, right? And that there's difficulties with other religions. So, yeah. Right, so my suggestion is, you know, that's good enough to get an idea for, okay, do I want to play religious conflict? Is the politics of religion and the, you know, implications of the special prejudice something that I want to get into, right? You've already got that up to the people, right? So I would just cut it off there and do religions as another article entirely, right? And yeah, this is basically skimming through it. You're basically explaining in more detail stuff you've already told us in the primer, right? There was a split in the church, right? The Reformed Church is, you know, it has a more tolerant attitude. There were other churches that started that had nothing to do with the Church of the Humanar, right? And yeah. So there we go. I'm not going to harp on it. Okay, cool. Adventures. Adventures in the Eastern Kingdoms can expect to get embroiled in the many nefarious plots and subterfuges being conducted by those in power and those who are not, but wish to be. Nobles, church folk, and guild artisans all work to advance personal causes while claiming to be working for the benefit of all. Away from the settled cities, well-hidden reminders of the devastation of the Great Strife remain. You need a word there. Remain, probably. Ruined remains of towns. Yeah, you didn't get a chance to edit and proofread, and that's fair. I get it. I would just say ruins of town if you use remain on the end of that sentence, but, you know, I'm sure you can, or still exist, you could use and then carry on with ruined remains of towns, and you need an S at the end of town, can be found in the foothills of the Elven Ring and Iron Hills, and perhaps the rubble of a long-forgotten manor house or mage's tower as well. Interesting. In those areas, descendants of the fell creatures that helped cause the devastation may remain as well. Unknown. Okay, you got as well twice. I would say may also remain. Unknown treasures and ancient secrets await the hardy adventurers that find their way to the Eastern Kingdoms. Okay, this paragraph is at the end is the one that really grabbed me as far as wanting to get involved in adventures. But I agree that all of this information is important. Yeah, my only major critique is take that whole section of the religions out and do it as a separate article, because that's where I start glazing a bit. I will want to know that more later. Obviously, it's very important. I like playing clerics, right, and paladins. I enjoy playing them, and I really like to... because I think that religion doesn't have to be a straitjacket. Faith can be a true guide to ethical behavior, and I try to play that, right? So, plus, you know, I actually have a pretty strong Wiccan faith in my own life, and that communion with the divine is something that I think, you know, regardless of what your religion is, I think it applies to any faith, right? There's a moment where someone has a true feeling like they've connected with their gods. And when that happens, that's a beautiful thing. And it's one of those, religion can do a lot of good, right? But everybody's got a very negative attitude about religion, and that's largely because big organized groups of religions have earned it. Let's just say that. Right? So I like to play... I would like to play a genuinely good cleric in this setting who, you know, runs into problems with either the humanocentrist church or, you know, if, you know, maybe I'm playing a cleric who didn't realize that their leadership of the church was humanocentrist, and then I learn it in the process of advancing through the political levels of my, you know, my character levels, and then I decide to, you know, maybe see if I can make a change because I don't believe that, you know, the divine really wants us to be like that. I like to play that kind of conflict. I think that's fun, right? So I do want to know all that information, but you're right, not in the primer. This is good work. I hope I have been helpful. Alright, we got Molluscan reports. I saw Esong's make me write a paragraph. Hello there, Stretch. Good to see you. Extreme Sai, the squids, thank you for your 2,400 or so words. 2,500 words. And by the way, I didn't say hi to Brian properly when he came in, so hi. It's good to see you. I hope you're well. I am going to take my first break now. I have like an hour left to stream, and I'm basically going to spend the last hour or so tippy-tapping away and getting some work done, and maybe you guys will join me. And this was fun. This feels like the right amount of showcases for me. I like doing 2 in a session, so I think I'm going to stick with that. That's fun. I don't feel rushed. I feel like, you know, I'm doing the community interaction that I want to do, but I don't feel like, oh shit, I gotta panic and get my own stuff done, blah. So, brilliant. James, you are on for... I might be able to get it done Tuesday in my late night stream that I've got going on. If you're around. If not, I will save it for Wednesday. And if James is not around, I might open up the queue again on Tuesday evening. Because... let's see here. Let me... okay, first I gotta close that. But, the schedule is there for Game of Tones, and I gave myself... or did I even still put it on at this point? Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, so Tuesday night for me, Wednesday morning in the UK, so midnight in the UK would be... I want to say 5 p.m. for me. I think that's what it is. 5 p.m. is when that gets done. So if I get the chance, we'll do it then. And if you're around. Okay, taking my break now. I'll see you guys in a minute. Yes, the game is on tonight, Daz. We'll see you at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Well, I'm back. I'm just going to be off camera for a minute between munching some stuff here and sort of semi on and off mic. But I'm working in the background, and I hope you guys are, you know, working on stuff too. Getting your summer camp articles done, or your Camp Nano. I didn't do one yesterday, so I'm probably not making diamond, but I'm having fun. You missed one day, do you think you're not making diamond? Come on, Eli, you can catch up. I'll help you. Hello, Islanders Caper. I think you're new to my chat. You're not new to my chat. You must be a different name. Oh, you're a charity, it says. Well, nice to meet you. Welcome to the stream. I'll be back on camera in just a moment. I'm just getting some munching done here in the background. We're working on Camp NaNoWriMo and World Anvil Summer Camp today, and we are doing the Game of Tomes Tourney of Tales, which is a Twitch-based writers game. Oh, you're semi-new since Conduit. Okay, well, welcome. Cool, glad Conduit brought you into the community. That's excellent. I like to hear that, because that was part of the point. That is awesome. I hope you've been enjoying the streams you've managed to catch so far and hanging out with people. And if you have any questions at any time, let me know. And I will help you as best I can. I don't know everything, but I might know someone who does. I'm still looking for a Courtyard picture. Rowan is back. Nap time over, making foods. Welcome back, Rowan. Ah. Eli says, the bees are giving me trouble, and also seem to have irritated a butt muscle, so butt in chair is not really a thing right now. That sucks. Daz says, and I have an added drive to try and finish these 10 as fast as I can, so then I can spend the week game session prepping for a marathon session on Saturday. The players are planning to play for 8 hours, so I need to be ready. Rowan's like, that's not a marathon gaming session. It goes minimum 24 hours, maybe as long as 48. Been there for both. What did we do once there back when the economy was shit and we didn't have a job? We were, I think we played for 4 days. We kept taking turns as to the DM and having naps. We were very young. And that's also true. That's another point of the Conduit. We would like to be recognized with our own category. Thank you very much. Not as an afterthought. There's a big enough community out here that, you know... Yeah, I seem to recall that in a lot of Coca-Cola, yes. Yeah, I did those back in the day when we were all younger and didn't have jobs. Exactly. You know what? When I switch over to sprint screen, I'll just turn off my camera for a minute, that's all. Yeah, Twitch did not recognize us yet, but apparently hot tub streams are a thing. I know, right? All right. Do I think that the creative writing petition will have some effect? If enough people sign it, yes. I mean, what more do we have to do? Stream the hot tub as we write? I could do that. I could do that. Do you want a courtyard that looks like this or that? Let's try. All right. That's not far off. Where is that, I wonder? Ah, Granada. Okay. That's the sprint? Like that doorway. Well, the problem is there's people in that picture. I don't want people. You always will have to wear modern clothes. Look, this guy's on his cell phone, for fuck's sakes. We're... The garden's not bad, you know? That's... pretty good picture, though. What else we got? I'll leave it up. Yeah, way too big and grandiose. It's just a little temple. That looks a bit too modern. I mean, that looks modern too, but in a different way. I suppose I should be looking at the chat. People are turning in their words. That's nice. Good job, guys. Good point, Cayetan. You've been there. Nice. Nice, James. Eli's like, I wish I could eat my dad-in-law's bread. I know what you mean. Alright, good night, Cayetan. Glad we had you for longer this stream, and, you know, have a good day tomorrow. 95 words for House Sauropoda from Dazzle Cat. Good job. What am I looking for? Asked Shadow. Hi, Shadow. I'm looking for a picture of a modest courtyard garden for a place that has kinda like a Turkish kind of look to it. But this is too fancy. That's definitely too fancy. That's Versailles. You know, and this is kind of, well, that might work. Not the plants I was originally envisioning, but... Okay, that's a possibility, I guess. You know, this would be about right, but I've got, like, a bunch of modern people in it, which I don't like. This looks a little barren to me. I got a very clear image in my head, right? Yeah, that's not good. Well, maybe. Maybe. Okay, that might work. Assuming there's a bigger garden outside, but then, you know. That is more what I had in mind, but okay, you know what? Though, sun's too bright too. I was looking, this is interesting. But this is more like being on Latha. I mean, I recognize that that's an Asian temple there, but it doesn't work. Alright, that's the Growly. So, the Dragon of Productivity demands sacrifices of words. We have a little over half an hour left to the stream. Okay, so that's good for another project, just not this one. So I will save it. Yeah, I tend to be picky about pictures, it's true. I think it's important I not give the wrong impression. Oh, that's nice. I mean, it's the wrong kind of flowers for what I had in mind, but it might work. Yeah, cute little ice house or water house there. Pump house. Okay, that's also good for another thing. Alright, I'm gonna call that good enough. I'll decide something between those pictures. That was more from my reference. Now let's get back to the article. Yeah, it's too fancy. That's more, or maybe that. I'm gonna look at the picture I decided on for the... Oh yeah, that could totally work. Okay, okay, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Woot! Right. Let's go here. Okay, I'll take a look at your link there, Rowan. But is it a public domain image I can use, is the question. Yeah, like that. I mean, that's what I would have wanted, but I don't think I can use that picture. It's set to let me print and you imagine so, and pin. I will search the image, because that's actually kind of perfect. Search Google for image. Let's find out. Backyard, eh? No other sizes of this image found. No, I don't know, man. Yeah, I can't tell if that is usable or not. Okay. That is exactly the kind of thing I was looking for, yes. Picture is at a museum. Can you even copyright such a thing? Yes, the person who took the picture owns the copyright. I assume that is probably the author of this article, because this looks like a traveler photograph thing, whose name is Carolyn Marin, right? So I imagine she owns the copyright to the picture, but since there is no information about copyright usage, I don't know. Maybe there's something on their front page? Because, yeah, that is about perfect. That's kind of what I visualized. This stuff looks tasty, man. Yeah, not a thing is said about use of images, so I probably can't. Now, I was looking at... And that's the sprint. I'm looking through an old manuscript, finding details about this place, is what I'm doing, if you're wondering why I'm so quiet and concentrating. Hail Hydrate, thank you very much. The Lady writes, how are you today? Shadow is trying to figure out what to write for a medical breakthrough. Does that say Temple Brothel? Yes, it does. The Temple of the Rose and Heart is a multi-denominational temple dedicated to the service of multiple deities of love, sex, and healing. Located on the busy Talesian port of Phoenix Rock in the Brisingamen cluster, the temple operates under the philosophy that if one wishes to heal the sick and wounded, one must go to where they are. Sailors needing rest and solace go to brothels, so the clergy of the Rose and Heart Temple also serve as sacred prostitutes. In addition to providing a clean and safe place for sailors to find comfort of the physical kind, they provide numerous healing services, from hot baths after a long voyage, to the dressing and healing of wounds, to counseling. It's a very important place in my stories. I did warn you, it was not a kid's book, right? Date and time it took, and then it was done on an iPhone 6. Sigh. Aaron, you cheating bastard. He's already stealing all my ideas and writing them for the prompts, so then I have to think of something else, but that's okay. It's cool. Alright, an ethnicity whose cultural exports are highly sought after. This one is kind of a weird one, because what do you decide as a cultural export, right? And to me, it implies, you know, culture, right? So I'm talking about art, faith, literature, stuff like wine and food, right? So like, would brides count? I don't, I am reluctant. I got into an argument about slaves being a thing on this, so I probably don't think so, you know. All right, see you later, Roaring Girl. Nice to see you. I'm glad you started hanging out on the regular, and I look forward to you getting your Twitch theater stuff up and running. I'm pretty excited about that. So, you know, let me know when things are like ready to go, and we'll talk about it here, and we'll like promote it, because that'll be fun. Yeah, that's why I'm iffy. Yeah, no. I would say no. I don't like the idea of people themselves being the export. Right? I feel squidgy about it. It doesn't... it doesn't sit right with me. Yeah. Are you thinking goblin culture, where they might exchange like you know, different people, or are you thinking of right? And the other complication is, remember, it's the ethnicity, right, that you're writing about, not the cultural thing, which complicates matters, right? It's like Americans exporting their media, right? Dutch painting, right? That was really valued. French wine, you know? Canadian maple syrup, right? You know, Belgian chocolate, Islamic poetry to medieval Europe in the like the Christian countries of Europe in the High Middle Ages, right? Yes, and ethnicity doesn't include an entire race, right? It's like a entire species. It's like a section. So that's why my brain is kind of going, ugh. Okay, I got one for you, honey. Who did we decide made the best groff, and who made the best pepper ale among the different clans of the orcs? I don't remember which was which, but those would be cultural exports, and the clan would be an ethnicity, right? So that might be a thing, right? I was probably going to write about the Kanathi green elves and their summer wine. One-Eye Groff and Doomspear Ale. That's right, that's what it was. Yeah, the One-Eyes make the best Groff, and the Doomspears make the best ale. So those would be cultural exports, right? Now, granted, those clans are both known for other things, and we'll have to, you know, flesh it out later to talk about what they're actually known for in those cultures, right? Like, we happen to know that the One-Eyes are known for their scholarship and religious faith, right? And the Doomspears are known for being consummate warriors, right? So those are things. But everybody knows that the One-Eyes make the best Groff and the Doomspears make the best pepper ale, and they don't admit it, right? Everybody argues that their clan has the best if you argue with them in public, right? And then they all ship the stuff in secret, probably through goblins working behind the scenes from the One-Eyes and the Doom Spears. It's hilarious. What about the banana brandy? We're spreading it universe-wide. That is a good point right there. Yep. So I probably, that was what I was thinking of writing about, was the Kanathi Green Elves, right? The Kanathi Nunnehi, right? And writing about the fact that in Kanathi they're known for a variety of unique alcoholic beverages, such as their summer wine and their banana brandy, right? Yeah, this is a hard prompt because it's so easy to get into the item template. But yeah, you got to look at the people, right? And probably why this thing is important to them culturally, right? Is part of what's being got at there. So. Does Kickstarter automatically add shipping if you tack on previous rewards? Or do you have to figure out shipping for the whole shebang for each tier? The latter. Yes, unfortunately. No, you're right, Esong, that's what they do, yeah. Right, for instance, I think I'm charging $5 to ship a bookmark because, you know, international shipping, which is ridiculous, but I don't know, right? I might be charging $3, I don't remember, right? But then I'm not charging anything for the bookmark if you get it with other things, because it won't count. I had to ship the other things anyway, right? So it will, and the weight would be negligible in the package. So it's not going to make any difference if I put a bookmark in with a bunch of like print postcards. That's not going to have any effect on the price. But if I just ship the bookmark alone, it, you know, it costs a few bucks, right? It's, yeah. More math. Yes, it is a pain. Alright. I think I'm supposed to be sprinting. And we have just enough time to finish out this sprint. And then that is going to be it for the day. So we have 11 minutes. Right? Get done what you can, gang, and then bring out your words. I have not tracked any of this, even though I've been writing it in streams all day, so I will total up whatever I've got on this article when I'm done. There we go, this is what I was looking for, the people. Okay, that's what I was after. Alright. So, the gnome is Ravi. Okay. Did I help anyway, honey? Would war horses count? Yes, depending. Like, if the Mongols were trading their war horses because they were, you know, the superior horse that was sought after, I would definitely say that would count. For sure. Yep. What about a cultural export that's largely black market due to it being a national secret? Everyone else wants it, but only the unscrupulous among them will sell it. You mean like people who actually export daisho sets out of Japan, for example? Yeah, there is a programmer tool that helps with people doing Kickstarters to calculate shipping somewhere. Yeah, the historical, the silk armor might be a thing. Yeah, that's a good point there, Claire. Yeah, and silk is somewhat bulletproof. It wouldn't break, but the bullet would just push it into the wound. You could then use the fabric to pop the bullet back out. Yep. Oh, Core Maiden warhorses aren't trained. They are bargained with. They're as bright as apes. Yeah, that's interesting. That would count. That's cool. Yeah, good idea. And we haven't done a lot of work on Carthen, so that would be cool. All right, Ravi. Um, um, a young, uh, handsome male gnome. Known for his sense of humor and fun. There is quick-witted and sassy male Slua. Bertha, a generous and generously proportioned. Sweet-natured dwarven maid. Dwarven. Maiden hardly seems the right word when talking about horrors, but it has a couple of different meanings, so... Alright, and I can make it pretty later. Tasha of clan... What clan did we say Tasha was originally from? She was a one-eye, wasn't she? I think she was. An Uruk woman in service to Kethlin. I wonder if Kethlin the Den Mother is. Yep, there should be. A quiet and thoughtful Orc woman. Yes. And Zavalin. Yeah, okay. Alright, Zavalin. A musically talented free-spirited. Did I say he was blonde? I think I said he was blonde. And that makes him an Elfar. If that is so. Oh, her. Okay, no, she was the female elf. But was she blonde? I thought she was blonde. No, she's not. Okay, she is a she. It would have been very unusual for an Elfar to be here, so I was like, is that what I was doing? I think I'm mixing up. Alright, that is the sprint. And that means... bring out your words! Bring out your words! Bring out your words! Because we are about to end the stream here pretty quick. Alright, who was the goddess that she was serving? Astarte, probably. Because who else is a goddess of the moon? Well, Freya. Freya. Probably Freya. Okay. And if I'm wrong about that, I'll fix it later. But I just wanted to have my list of people. Let's look at my view here and tally up my words. I think that article's off to a good start. Looks kind of appealing, doesn't it? I like that picture. Yeah, okay. I feel like I'm going in the right direction here. This is good. I'm happy about this. What do we got? That'd be 682 words for me. Although I admit I wrote some of them when I was listening to Hefe and Pride stream, so... $682 for House Lapin. What else we got? We got 215 for House Lapin from Shadow Malachi. Excellent, excellent. $186 words for Sauropoda earlier from Daz. You're cool for throwing your ideas out there, Claire. That's nice of you. Aaron says, should I write about the horses or the knights they generally work with? Both, says Author Goddess. And Esong says, since it's an ethnicity article, I would talk about both. Yep. Daz has done prompt 9 in rough draft and submitted. Excellent. Author Goddess wants to know why in sweet God's names would it cost $170 to ship a book to Finland? Yep, UPS can suck it. That is why I use the postal service. It's getting ridiculous, but it's not that ridiculous. Anybody else with words to submit? Islanders Caper says, I've been working on outlining the TTRPG supplement I'm working on for Cap NaNoWriMo. Nice. So not so much in the way of new words, but progress all the same. Well, you know, actually, have you seen our rules for counting editing during the Tourney of Tales? Right? Because you can count editing by time. Let me find the picture or the link for you here. Because it's in here. There you go. Check out that page and it will tell you about, but basically it's like, we counted at 15 words per 1 minute of light edits, 30 words per 1 minute of heavy edits. That would be revising, rewriting, reorganizing, you know, all that stuff that tends to be time consuming. We also count translation and other forms of things like that as editing. Now I'm overtired, getting irritable now, says Stretch. We'll go to bed. Get some sleep. My goodness, I wish I could take a nap. Rest well. Alright, who we got coming up here? Oh! Esong and Masades are both going to be up and running. Masades is doing a report lobby. Esong is doing a... well, Esong is also a Game of Tome streamer and is doing summer camp. Where are we going, gang? Let's do a... Ignore my growling dragon because we're not doing any more sprints. Let's take a poll. I'll just set that up. For Esong, they're doing an actual stream. You know, lobbies still require maintenance, and it's cool that they're there. But alright, the overwhelming majority is Esong, so that is what we are going to do. I have no vote. I'm going for more Independence Day fun, says Daz. Well, happy Independence Day, or happy King's Treason Against the King Day for all you Americans. And yeah, come on, I got a kid. I'm Canadian. No, happy 4th of July. I hope that you all have a wonderful celebration. I'm sure many of you are just getting together with family and friends again after a long absence. Please enjoy yourselves. Please, you know, be safe with fireworks, but definitely party and have fun and celebrate the fact that we have survived this incredibly bullshit couple of years. And, use precautions, especially if you're not fully vaccinated, but enjoy yourself and, have a great time, guys. Have a great time. All right. So this is Sunday. We will be back in a little bit less than 3 hours for Toy Soldiers Old School. Remember when use protection meant something completely different? You know, that's 2 viruses that have totally ruined my life, by the way. I was just starting to get to the age where sex was interesting when this whole AIDS thing blew up. Man, it's just not fair. Anyway, yeah, so we'll be back in a little bit less than 3 hours for Toy Soldiers Old School. Otherwise, Monday is our day off. Tuesday, Aaron will be back at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. in UTC, that's 10 p.m. in the UK, and that means 2 p.m., 2 a.m., 7 a.m. Australian Eastern Time for Ask an Old GM. That is now running 2 hours, not 3 hours. Just a reminder. Tuesday evening, I will be back. I think it is at... Okay, what time is this right now here in the UTC? Yes. Okay, so it's 3, 4, 5. So, 5 o'clock Pacific time, PM. That would be 8 p.m. Eastern. Midnight UTC, 1 a.m. in the UK, and 5 switch to, yeah, is that right? Noon in, it's either 11 o'clock or noon in Australian Eastern Time. I will be back for a special Toy Soldier writing and world building session. That is something I'm doing for the duration of the Kickstarter and summer camp. Yes. And then I will be back as usual on Wednesday at noon Pacific again for Diane Writes. So, thanks very much for joining me, guys. I'm going to run my videos here, and then we are going to raid over to Esong. I'll see you again soon. Hi there, my name is Diane Morrison, and I'm a science fiction and fantasy author. I'm looking for your help to publish my novel, A Few Good Elves. Three years ago, you guys helped me publish Once Upon a Time in the Weird West, which is a collection of my Weird Western serial stories. And 2 years ago, you helped me to edit and publish Gunsmoke and Dragonfire, a fantasy western anthology. I figure we make a winning team. The Toy Soldier Saga is a fantasy space opera universe. It has all of the elements of space opera science fiction, but everything's done by magic. I don't think there's anything out there that is quite like it. And I really hope that you'll enjoy it and the extended universe that has been created around it.
I am Chris. I play Arian. He's the grizzled older ex-enlisted elf.
Remember, we've only got 30 days to make this happen. With your support, you can have some of the art that's been created for the books, you can have the stories, the ebook, a trade paperback copy, a hardcover copy, you might be able to get them signed. You could even get the entire collection of everything that I have previously published or been published in. Thanks in advance for your support, and thank you for listening.